Hello, my sewing friends. This is Friday Sews.
Woohoo!
I'm Jen, and this is my sewing room, and this is Friday Sews when it's the end of the week and we talk about all the sewing things and a little bit about life. Let me just get straight into the sewing. So for sewing this week, I did a lot of catch-up work, which is not what I wished I was doing. I want to be doing the fresh, new, shiny thing, and I didn't get to do that this week because I made myself look at a couple of things that I've been working on that have had problems. Now, what I do when I have a problem is I put it on the dress form and I keep it in front of me and out of my UFO bin so that I can fix what's wrong. And if it stays there long enough, it eventually finds its way into the UFO bin. But these two things I worked on this week did not. Clearly, one did not. But let me start with the first one. It is Butterick 6661. And this is a dress that I made, and I was going to wear it on my birthday, but I didn't get it finished in time. It's from a rayon challis that I got for free. And the beautiful thing about this dress is the strap feature on the back, the way that the straps cross, gorgeous. I kind of hacked it a little bit. I did not make the skirt this way. I made it a two-tiered skirt, and I gathered the bottom tier into the first one. So I hemmed it. I had not finished where the straps attached to the front bodice, so I finished that. And there was a little bit of finish work in the back that I needed to do, and so I did that. And couple of things. First of all, the problem with the strap, well, the problem with the dress was the straps, because the way they cross too high, I guess, for the band of my bra not to show. I mean, they don't come down low enough to cover it. They're too high. And so I was trying to figure out a way to fix that without taking away from just that gorgeous feature of the dress. And I really didn't ever come up with a way to do it. And so I thought, well, okay, I can't fix that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it, and then I will go ahead and try it on to see what I think. So I did, and I think overall, it's not me. It's just not me. So it's finished. All I have to do is give it to one of my girls because I know they're gonna love it. So that's the story of Butterick 6661. The important thing is it's not on my dress form. However, this is on my dress form. This is New Look 6428. And the problem with this little shift dress that I thought was gonna be really nice, easy to wear, it is knit and it has negative ease. Well, that just means that you can look at the finished garment measurements, but very often with a negative ease, you find this in things like swimsuits and bodycon dresses. It's less than what you are because they want the knit to stretch and grab you. And that's fine. That's fine in those instances where it's appropriate. For this dress, apparently they think it's appropriate. I didn't realize that. I cut a 14. I always take a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I made sure that the finished garment measurements were gonna be okay, and it was too tight. But I went ahead and went back in and I cut from scraps that I had. Again, never throw away your scraps. A couple of 2-inch strips that I added into the side seams. And then I had to taper them at the top because I didn't wanna mess up the armhole. Well, I tried it on. Much better, except now it's kind of shapeless. And I did want some shape. Well, this thing calls for you to put a zipper up the back, which I found very strange on a knit dress, but okay. So I have a feeling that I'll be able to solve some of the problem by pulling some of the fullness, or at least some of the through here part. When you pull it like this, see what happens when I do that? See, this is very loose fitting also. And if I do this, see how that pulls that in? And I didn't do anything to the side seams. It just pulled it in enough to pull it tighter around here so that it gives it some shape but it doesn't have to be skin tight. So I think I'm gonna try working with that. I didn't do anything finishing the armholes because I thought if I do anything with that side seam, I don't wanna have to deal with armhole facings. Also, with regard to that, it does have a neck facing for that little notched neckline and armhole facings instead of bindings. But you know what? They're fine with me as long as I can top stitch them down. And I do, usually at 1 inch away, and that fixes that. So that's New Look 6428. That's what I've been doing in the past couple of days, but I still have a rayon dress that I can't wait to get to. It's sitting right over there. And then I've got a whole box and a whole stack of stuff. Oh, who has time to get to all of it? I need a vacation where I can just, you know, sew, sleep, and eat and nothing else. That's what I need. So maybe that'll be in my future. I don't know, we'll see. But that's all the sewing for this week. With regard to life, I have good news and bad news. I will start with the bad news first because I am still hopping mad. I am so angry about this. There's a show in the US called Inside Edition. They got a hold of the viral video that I was in and they wanted to interview me and the driver of the car that had the accident. Well, she called me before the interview and I was so glad, first of all, that she was okay. Second of all, to hear just what happened because none of us were clear on what caused the accident. Turns out her name is Crystal. She is a lovely person. And she does not remember any of it, which if you look at the video, she never put her brake lights on at all. No clue what was happening. And when I got to her to see if I could get her out of the car, she was unconscious. She didn't wake up until a little, probably she heard me talking on the phone and that was what woke her up. She passed out. That's why she, you know, people have a way of saying she, and I've even said she blew through that stop sign. She wasn't on her phone. She wasn't distracted. She wasn't doing anything. She passed out and that's what happened. So I was so glad to hear her side of things and to get to talk with her. Well, and then we talked to Inside Edition. And the reason I am so angry is that they got a bunch of stuff wrong. First of all, I'm not Jen Weisner. That is not my name. I spelled my name. I told them my name. They got it wrong the first time too. They had this was like a follow-up to another interview that they had done. So I guess somebody wasn't doing their fact checking or didn't look at notes or something happened. But that, and then the headline says that Crystal had crashed into my home and repeated that 3 more times within the whole interview that they published. They did like a transcript of what was being said, and then you heard what was being said 3 times. And the headline, she didn't crash into my house. See, this is why I'm so angry. There were a couple of other things, but of most importance was the fact that Crystal's best friend has started a GoFundMe account for her. And I mentioned that. And I emphasized it in talking with this woman who interviewed us before we started the interview. And then I said in the interview, this is really important. She's a single mom. She's got 2 boys. She's got bills to pay. And she's also not able to work because she doesn't have a car. Okay, all the things. This is important. And they left it out. So life has been me being angry for a good part of it, and then coming in here to kind of just work some of that off with solving the problems with the sewing. Okay, so that was life. And now it's time for comments. We talked last week about school supplies, the things that you can go get that are school supplies that are on sale and in the stores and easy to find right now that we use in our sewing rooms. So you all had all kinds of ideas, and I wanted to share these with you because I didn't realize some of these things I need to either replenish or I hadn't thought that I needed, and I do. So let me start out with Cece Nelson, who says, sorry kids, I'm out there buying all your supplies. Happy sewing. Well, there you go. Cheryl at Bluegrass Dreams to Seams says, school supplies. I have so much left over from teaching. If you are a teacher, then you have got it covered. I'll tell you what. My grandson needed a composition book and my daughter couldn't find any. She said she had 5 stored away that she'd never used. So her grandson is taken care of. And it was a truly shop for less experience. Free. Connie Buckner says, I like finding little storage boxes. You know, for that day when I sort through thousands of buttons in my collection. Connie. Yes, truly, I feel your pain about sorting through buttons. Then she goes on to say, I have my grandmother's button collection, my husband's grandmother's button collection, my husband's aunt's button collection, plus my own and auction winnings. Is there such a thing as a button hoarder? Well, clearly there is. Allison Eichler says, about tape. I use the Scotch tape in the blue package. It's marked wall-friendly or removable. Perfect for putting PDF patterns together. Yes, because you can reposition things and get them straight. I always like that. Funnyful says, tape, tape, and more tape. Yeah, I'm tired of buying the little things of tape. I'm feeling like I just need to load up on, like, you know, big cartons and big boxes of tape rolls because, yeah. Izzy, my friend Izzy at Dizzy Quilts and Sews says, I plan on getting printer paper, some folders, composition notepads, glue sticks, Scotch tape, and washable Crayola markers. That is similar to the friction pens, except that it washes out. But you do have to be careful with those and always test them on a small scrap of your fabric just to make sure that it is going to wash out, because some of them are not as good quality as other ones and they say they're going to wash out, but they might not entirely. So just be careful. KT37 says, my tip, wait till the back to school sales end and then go to the stores. Everything is usually clearanced for a penny to a dime for paper products. She's right. Things like paper folders, always that much. Crayons, pens, etc. When you are picking up items for your sewing room, also pick up some supplies for a teacher or a local school. U.S. schools are always in need of those supplies. What a great idea. Yeah, all of it. I will leave you this week with my little prayer card, which says from 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept my faith. I have a brother-in-law that is probably going to leave us in the next few days. And it makes me think of this verse because it was written by Paul, St. Paul, and he really had worked as hard as he could, get to the end, get to the finish line, came sliding into home, covered in mud, scrapes, bruises, all of the things. And he got home and he walked into the arms of Jesus. Man, isn't that what we all want to do? We don't care how banged up we are when we get there. We just want to get there and we want to walk into the arms of our Savior. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.